Racing on Saturday takes place out at Turffontein the 27th of April 2024. It is a 10-race program with race number 1 set to get underway at 11:50. It is day number 4 of the championship, and we've got 7 feature races lined up, 2 grade 3s, 4 grade 2s and 1 listed contest, with proceedings set to get underway at 11:50. Joining me on the line is Alistair for this 10-race card. And Alistair, how are you doing?
Thanks, Rahiel. Obviously, as you mentioned, the final day of the championships up on the half-field. It's been a fantastic couple of months. I thought that the previous leg was out of the top draw, obviously, where we saw the South African Derby, the Hollywoodbets South African Oaks, the Horse Chestnut as well. The big catch when it comes to this race meeting, traditionally, although the calendar's changed a little bit, it is on the back of quite an arduous season. Some horses even went down to Cape Town, but horses obviously have been targeting races like the Premier's Champions Challenge, like the Triple Crown, Volgerbos Drift, Triple Tiara. So there might be some weary legs heading into Durban, so you might have to use your thinking caps, but overall it's going to be a lovely day's racing at the Big T. Looking forward to it before the curtain raiser at Hollywoodbets Scottsville a day later, and champion season a week away now.
We're certainly looking forward to the racing that is going to be coming your way in the next few months or so, as we build up to the big one, the main event on Saturday, the 6th of July, the Hollywoodbets Durbanville. But we've still got lots of time and lots of racing to get to that big day. Race number 1, 1600 meters the distance. The barboard will commence with the running of race number 2, 10-race program. Race 1, Legend of Arthur, 12-10, Mount Pinatubo at 15-10, Sunset Riot is at 9-2, it's 11-2, Moonlight Trader, and then it's 16-1, and Better Bar those. Now, these two horses that top the betting boards, they obviously met on debut, and Mount Pinatubo had the better of Legend of Arthur, who came through to frank that form in no uncertain terms when expected to win. But Mount Pinatubo, last time out, Alistair, you were quick to point out that Johan Janssen van Vuuren is quite upbeat and positive that this horse would run a huge race, and he did just that, second behind Fire Attack. I guess we all expected Pistol Pete to be the winner that day, but it was Fire Attack and Mount Pinatubo who turned Pistol Pete over.
Yeah, the dynamics of this race are interesting, Rahiel, because what's better, Legend of Arthur's romp against a very weak field, and also considering that he will acquit himself perfectly to a mile, he should anyway, being out of a Galileo mare, or Mount Pinatubo's second in the South African nursery with, I think he'll reach the distance, definitely in time, but right now I just have a little bit of a query about that. Then we also got draw 1 with number 3 Mount Pinatubo over a mile. So those are the dynamics at play here. I'm leaning towards number 3 Mount Pinatubo, I must be honest, but just because I'd rather have a second in the nursery, a more solid second in the nursery, rather than the red carpet just roll out for Legend of Arthur last time out, beating Sakarajima, who did not much for the form, and also with 2.5 lengths to turn around, albeit over 1,000 meters. Legend of Arthur's still got to turn that around, so that's why I'm going to go with number 3 to beat number 1, but I'd leave it open-ended. In fact, I'd go boxed exactas just for the 2 horses to kick off before the exotics get underway. I have a little bit of time for them before Sunset Riot, despite coming off a 65-day layoff, a good win last time over Queen of Fire, but again, don't know overall how that form is going to work out. I'd still have the nursery form on my CV rather than winning a maiden juvenile plate, certainly at this stage of the game. And I think number 7 Pan and Gold might improve, but whether he improves enough to trouble numbers 1 and 3, that remains to be seen. So just a quartet chance for him. So that's how I read the first race. I think it gets trickier as the meeting goes on, to be honest.
1 and 3, the horses to fight it out in race number 1. Moving along to race number 2, which is a juvenile plate for the fillies over 1600 meters. Race 2 will be the start of the bipot. 12 is the off time. And your fixed odds betting market has got number 10, World of Alice, at the top at 15-10. 7-2, About Too Late My Mate. It's 4-1, Queen of Fire. 9-2, Fatal Flaw. And then it's 8-1, and Better Bar those. Now this, as opposed to race number 1, this does look to be a race where you've got a few more horses in with winning chances here. And number 10, World of Alice, very eye-catching run on debut behind Too Late My Mate, who she meets once again, but this time in receipt of 3 kgs.
Exactly, that's why she's my top choice here, Rahiel. World of Alice just went down as the next time when she made her debut. I think the overriding opinion from many was, well, the next time she runs, she'll win. She faces Too Late My Mate with a 3 kilo swing, plus Too Late My Mate's got the disadvantage of draw 10 out of 10, although I think she's wise enough, clever enough, and probably versatile enough to get over from a reasonable, or from a bad draw into a reasonable position. When you look around, I don't see too much to trouble them. Maybe number 2, Queen of Fire, has claims. 7, Sonic Jet's another horse on the radar, but I think she's probably biting off more than she could chew at this stage. But I expect it to be somewhere in and around the money, number 7, Sonic Jet. But just on what I saw from World of Alice first time out, with the weight turnaround, with the experience under the belt, with the extra distance, I anticipate that she will take all the beating in race number 2 in the start of the bar pot. I'd go both in the bar pot, to be honest, numbers 3 and 10, but no doubt where my allegiances lie in the opening leg of the bar pot.
Top choice horse number 10, World of Alice. Moving along to race number 3 now, and this is when where the feature races they kick off. And race 3 is a Tab Protea Stakes, a grade 3 over 1100 meters. Buffalo Storm Cody, your favorite at we'll call that 6 to 10, 28 to 10 about Winds of Change. It's then 6 to 1 about Proceed, 10 to 1 and Better Ball. Those now. Buffalo Storm Cody was ultra impressive on debut and beating Bad Medicine, who unfortunately did absolutely zilch for that form line just yesterday. And I think all he could do was win on debut, and he won well. Gate number 2, it could obviously be a slight disadvantage up the lane, but given it's a small field, he should be able to overcome that, and he no doubt is the one that they all need to beat.
Wow, you took the words out of my mouth there, Rahiel, with regard to the form line of Buffalo Storm Cody. Despite looking super impressive and not getting an ideal start and winning the way that he did and still recovering from that, you can't take anything away from Buffalo Storm Cody. He might very well be out the top draw and prove himself to be capable of winning feature races starting here. But I've just called up the form in front of me. Second, Bad Medicine, as you mentioned, ran on Thursday, ran a stinker. Third, Dance King, ran a stinker. Fourth, It's Personal, also ran on Thursday, ran a place. Fifth, Gloria Mundi, nothing. Sixth, Quacha Blitz, nothing. And eighth, Cruise Party, nothing. I don't see any horse. Maybe Bad Medicine can bounce back, but I don't see any horses who are just going to suddenly turn it around and come out and win. So they found the right field, and that might have made Buffalo Storm Cody look even more impressive than he is. I respect his chances, but I think number 6, Winds of Change, has got every chance here. Receiving 3 kilograms, Rachel Vinegar doesn't claim because this is a feature race, but the Son of Water wins it. If you could do a list of things that can go wrong in a race, it went wrong for him last time, even before the race when they moved from the Val original track to the classic track, ended up draw 7 out of 7, and it was just a mess for number 6, Winds of Change. I know the Aussies were upset. It was just the combination of things that conspired against number 6, Winds of Change. This time he's running in a straight line. Be very interesting. Now I think we'll get a good gauge of where the Cape Juvenile form stacks up, because I'm just going to ignore, although it looks like a good run last time, I'm going to ignore what he did last time, number 6, Winds of Change, and say, right, those 2 Cape runs against Buffalo Storm Cody and Proceed, who I suppose also has to have claims. Let's see how it all stacks up. I have an inkling number 6, Winds of Change, is going to win the race. So although the pick 6 is my suggested bet because of the carryover, and I'd love to try and catch it with the pools bigger, Winds of Change, top choice, 1 Buffalo Storm Cody in as well. Those are the 2 horses for the first leg of the place accumulator. I think I'll double up, to be honest.
1 and 6 in race number 3, the first of 7 features on the day. Moving along to race number 4, the second of the feature races at Tab Pretty Polly Stakes, a grade 3 over 1100 meters. Your favorite is number 4, Simply Majestic, at 22 to 10, along with number 6, We Will Rock You. Bossum Buddy is at 33 to 10. It's 7 to 2 about Pinotubo, and then it's 10 to 1 and Better Ball. Those now, I quite like the look of this filly from the Corner Species Yard. We Will Rock You. She won a nice race in KZN when beating Copacabana, who came through to Frankfurt form next time out. And this filly, to me, just seems to have that progressive look about her, and she seems to be a horse that does have gear. So I think that she does seem to be a filly that I'm sure Corner Species will be looking to aim towards Alan Robertson on sprint day, and this could be a stepping stone in the right direction for her.
Yeah, I don't know what to make of number 6, We Will Rock You, Rahiel. I've left her out of the pick 6, but she was the next one to throw in. I know that she ran into a bit of trouble on debut behind Pinatubo, which has got to put her in a line with Pinatubo in essence, because they should have finished a lot closer. Plus, I think Pinatubo was more ready than We Will Rock You. But travelling down to Durban as a 2-year-old, then coming back, it sounds arduous for a youngster, but if anyone can do it, it's Cornet Spies. So it was workmanlike. I know Copacabana came came out in fact the form, but this is a step up for number 6, We Will Rock You. My numbers here are 1, 3, 4, and I've got number 8, Montana Lights, and just simply on the word before her first run, which was an almighty stinker from the daughter of Master of My Fate. But just on what I heard first time out, I'm going to include her, but more speculative than knowing anything this time, because there's absolutely no talk out of the camp. One Bosom Buddy finished close up behind Pinatubo first time out. Again, in and around We Will Rock You, finished in front of We Will Rock You. Pilasanda and Poli takes her out for Paul Matchett. I like the last one over Kindred Heart. I thought she showed good tenacity, the type of attribute you need in a feature race. 3 Pinatubo ran against Open Company last time. It wasn't good at all. It was one of those that could have worked or didn't work. Sadly, it was the latter. I think she might bounce back. She certainly won't run as badly, number 3, Pinatubo, but if I'm making a case for Bosom Buddy, you're making a case for We Will Rock You, then by default, number 3, Pinatubo needs to go in. And I think maybe the one that kind of come out on top here is number 4, Simply Majestic. Gavin Arena rides for Johan Janssen van Vuren. She's been laid off for nearly 100 days. She got the maiden out of the way at her second start. She ran nicely, giving weight to Danton from Santon at her next start. Danton from Santon obviously being a male, Simply Majestic being a female winner. She had to carry more weight. I thought she ran nicely enough in defeat. I thought she actually ran very well in defeat. And I think the 98 days break is going to do her a little bit more good than all these other horses that have been racing for a while. So that's why she's my top selection, but it is a tricky start to the pick 6.
A few horses do look to have strong claims in race number 4, and certainly ones that you could include. Number 8, Montana Lights, favourite on debut, didn't put her best foot forward, but as you heard from Alistair, there was quite a bit of confidence around her, and perhaps she's a horse that could just produce what they thought she would on debut. Moving along to race number 5, the Tab Camellia Stakes, a grade 2, 1160 meters the distance. 10 past 2 is the off time, and race 5 is the start of Jackpot 1. White Pearl 28 to 10. Mrs. Geriatrics is at 3 to 1, along with Time for Orchids. It's 4 to 1 about Kiss Me Captain, 11 to 2 One Fell Swoop, Mrs. Browning at 8 to 1, and then Lula Star is at 16 to 1. Now, out of the 7 runners here, 6 runners are proven to be lethal over sprinting trips. The one horse that isn't is number 6, White Pearl, but I'm going to make her my top selection on the basis of a penultimate run behind One Fell Swoop, who she's 5 kgs better off at the weight with. And I think that I think the race is just going to be around to suit this daughter of the non-platina. I think with the last run under the belt behind Sandringham Summit against the boys, I think that she could be perfectly teed up back to sprinting, and Muzieni takes the ride once again. So at around 28 to 10, I'm going to make her the top selection for me, and I think she'll notch up her first victory over sprints.
I have a funny feeling this is what she's looking for, Rahiel. It's just a matter of whether she's good enough for Time for Orchids, Mrs. Geriatrics, and Kiss Me Captain. I hear you. I love that run in the Sycamore Sprint on the 16th of March, where she was chasing One Fell Swoop late under Striker. And I thought her run in the Hawaii was also creditable, despite having a very lenient opportunity at the weights. I still think she ran very nicely. I make her a live runner. The stance I took here, and I thought long and hard. I was very close to banking number 5, Time for Orchids. She's unbeaten since arriving at Johan Janssen van Vuren. Certainly in her last 4 starts, she's unbeaten. She's been well placed by Johan. I did not like her much last time with 62 kilos giving weight away, but she blew the field away. I know this is now Feature Race Company, but she has competed at Feature Race Company. And then I looked around and I said, how much will I hate myself if Mrs. Geriatrics bounces back? Because I think this is what she's now looking for. I think this is her game, and I think she has every chance of bouncing back at some stage. Number 2, Kiss Me Captain, wouldn't be anywhere near my radar if it wasn't for the run in the computer form sprint. And then we got number 7, One Fell Swoop, who's obviously progressive. So that's why I decided against banking number 5, Time for Orchids, because of the case that you can make for numbers 1, 2, 5, and 7 in this race. So yeah, I'm a little bit uneasy about this event, Rahiel. Time for Orchids is my top selection. Of that, there's no doubt. But I have all the time in the world for the other horses that I've mentioned, with number 6, White Pearl, being a live runner as well. And I'd love nothing more than to see Danon Platina earn his first stakes winner. It's so overdue, it'll be so deserved, and I reckon that when he gets one, you'll suddenly know about quite a few others that follow up.
After being an absolute champion 2-year-old number 1, Mrs. Geriatrics, a 3-year career probably hasn't gone according to plan, given that she's only won once, and that was when just scraping over the line, beating White Pearl. Perhaps she could bounce back to winning ways as a 3-year-old. But Time Forker, she's a filly on the up. She's won her last 4 starts and she's looking for 5 in a row. Let's see if she'll be able to reel it off. Race number 6, the Tabby Gugu Stakes, a grade 2 over 2,000 meters. 14:45 is the off time. And your favorite is number 8, My Soulmate, at 22-10. Beating Wings is at 33-10. Gilded Butterfly at 7-2. 5-1 About None Other. 7-1 Perfect Witness. And then it's 12-1 and Better Bar those. Now, My Soulmate, she ran an absolute cracker in the Oaks behind Francis Ethel, who just seems to be climbing the ladder, going through the divisions. And, well, she's a filly that could be in for bigger success come the KZN Champion season. But My Soulmate, Alistair, she ran her socks off and she's got 55.5 kgs on the back. She's the best weighted horse in this race. And is she the top selection for you?
Yeah, she has to be. I mean, she came out of that race fresh and well. You'll never believe it. I thought that she had the race at the bag 400 metres out, especially with Striker on your side. And Francis Ethel, as you say, just climbing the ladder, had her number. Richard Ferry was very, very quick on the phone, or his agent was, to ride number 8, My Soulmate, from draw 1. She's doing well. She's obviously had quite a long year, and there's still a couple of more likely cherries to pick with number 8, My Soulmate. But the belief was that the Oaks and this former Gerald Rosenberg, now the Gugu Stakes, were her 2 races for the taking, because she stays all day. She doesn't really do many favours in the early stages, but if Richard can just get her behind the bridle in the early part, then I'll be even more confident about her chances. So yeah, if you like her, she'll run well. I have a lot of respect for number 9, Beating Wings, because wherever Beating Wings is, My Soulmate should be right there. They've met each other twice before. Beating Wings beating her in the Wilgeborster South African Classic, where My Soulmate was just horribly off colour. There's still no explanation for that. And then last time, obviously, over 2-4-5, My Soulmate just ran away from Beating Wings. So I think this is probably in the middle of the range for both of them. Be interesting between these 2 3-year-old fillies. Perfect Witness has had an unbelievable prep coming into this race. To be fair, Candace is battling to split them, only because, I mean, at my heart of hearts, I think My Soulmate's a better horse than Perfect Witness, but Perfect Witness's prep is unbelievable. Her last run, the Emperor's Palace Stakes, was creditable, to say the least, finishing 7.5 lengths behind Gimme Another, when she was never going to win at grade 1 level, weight for age grade 1 level over a mile. It was always just to get her into the swing of things for this race, and she's finished second in this race as a 3-year-old in number 4, Perfect Witness. And then number 1, None Other. She lost her way to None Other after winning the Track and Bull Oaks at Hollywoodbets Scottsville in the middle of June, but she came back to life last time behind Bingwa in a race that I didn't expect her to show any signs of life. She was well weighted, but the wrong distance, coming off a layoff. I believe that she's targeting the Track and Bull Oaks again, number 1, None Other, and potentially even the Will Avington, which is now open to older fillies. So second one after a rest, there might be a couple more cobwebs to brush off, but I like enough of what I saw from number 1, None Other. Just a quick heads up, I've left out number 2, Gilded Butterfly. She won this race last year. If it rains on race day, put number 2, Gilded Butterfly, in everything. It's been dry as a bone in Joburg. I'm here at the moment. It's been dry as a bone since Classic Day. We need rain badly. There's a forecast for light rain during the day. I don't know if it'll be enough to assist number 2, Gilded Butterfly, but if light rain becomes substantial rain or a little downpour before the race, she becomes a live runner. So at the moment, no, but come race time, if it's gloomy and the heavens are open, different story.
Yeah, she absolutely romped home to victory last year when she beat Bless My Stars by 4.5 lengths, and then she looked to be a major play in the Will Avington, but she was only in 6th position. But she could be a horse that certainly warrants some sort of respect in this race once again. Moving along to race number 7, the Tab Colorado King Stakes, grade 2 over 2,000 meters. 3 is the off time. And Pure Predator is the favorite at 18-10. It's Aragosta at 5-2. Hotarubi at 33-10. Puerto Manzano has been off colour of late. He's at 6-1. It's 7-1 Safe Passage, 12-1 Future Pearl, and second base is at 16-1. Alistair, race number 7, is it the 3-year-olds that will dominate this race? Hotarubi, Pure Predator, or can one of the older horses get the job done here?
Right, I was hoping we never got to this race. I was hoping you'd forget it and we'd skip it.
It's
I'm
tricky.
going to make a statement. I don't like the 3-year-olds at all. I've left them out of the play. To use Tax Haven as a guide and as a gauge would probably be unfair to the Derby form, but I think Pure Predator and Hotter Ruby are slightly flattered out of the South African Derby this year. So I'm going to sidestep them and go with the more tried and tested older horses at Turffontein over 2,000 metres, especially on the back of the campaigns that Pure Predator and Hotter Ruby have had. So there we go. For 3-year-old wins, I'm out of everything. The 1, 2, 3 and 4, my numbers: Puerto Manzano, Aragosta, Future Pearl and Safe Passage. Although it looks that better days are behind number 1, Puerto Manzano, over 2,000 metres at Turffontein with a good pace, I would still like to believe he can win another one. I think this race will tell us more. If he runs a nice, he doesn't have to win. If he runs a nice race, then you could probably give him a couple more chances. If he runs like he has in his last couple of starts, then I think you know where Puerto Manzano stands. Aragosta, big run in the Premier's Champions Challenge, finishing 3rd to Royal Victory. That makes him my top selection in this race. Go watch the Champions Challenge again. Future Pearl, second run after a long layoff. For me, he was the most exciting finisher of the race. He's a better stayer than he is a 2,000-metre horse. Of that, there's absolutely no doubt. I wouldn't have thought that the Colorado King Stakes would be within his range, certainly not during his escapades during Durban last season, but here we are, and I'm making a case for him. And at a full Safe Passage, I think pound for pound is as good as Puerto Manzano, as they ran first and second in the Betway Summer Cup in 2022, so there's never much between them. Safe Passage also receives 2 kilos, although he can be horribly in and out. He can do anything in Safe Passage, but his mate Musiani's back on board, so I think that enhances his chances. I think they're the only 4 horses who can possibly win. Top choice 2 from 4. I think the Cop might run 1, 2, yeah.
I like your stance here. I really do. I think that could be the way to play race number 7. Ignore the 3-year-olds. Look at the older horses. They've got solid form to their name here, and they could be the horses that dominate race number 7. And the top choice for Alistair, number 2, Aragosta. But Safe Passage at 7 to 1. I think that could be some nice value for all those that have been burnt with the son of Silvano. Perhaps 7 to 1 on Saturday could be the way that you come out on top with this horse. And as you heard from Alistair, his mate Musieni is back in the irons, and perhaps Muzi could just get that much more out of Safe Passage. Race number 8, this is the Senor Santa Stakes, 1160 meters the distance, 15:55 is the off time. Lucky Lad 14 to 10, Sergey at 9 to 2, it's 6 to 1 about rulership, 6 to 1 Winter Greeting, and then it's 12 to 1 and better bar those. Now, just having a look at these horses, Lucky Lad and Sergey, there's no doubt that these are 2 horses that will be aimed towards the sprint races in the winter season, and the Golden Horse Sprint is obviously a race that I'm sure will be on their radar come the first Saturday in June.
Absolutely. Sergio ran second to the winner last year, third rather, to Give Me a Prince in the Golden Horse Sprint at Hollywoodbets Scottsville. Lucky Lad, of course, won his 2-year-old race, the Gold Medallion, and won it well, beating Outlaw King. All eggs in one basket here, Rahiel. Here's the banker of the day. Here's the player of the day. It's number 3, Lucky Lad. Blinkers go on for the first time, something that I would never have thought would be an option during his 2-year-old campaign, because he had a certain style of running which never lent itself to having blinkers as an opinion. But since turning 3 and likely needing the runs on the back of his run on Gold Cup Day, he suddenly looks like a horse who's needed blinkers. That's certainly the opinion that I got, and obviously Faree and Terry have decided that's the case as well. He's drawn towards the outside, 8 out of 11 in the Johan Malherbe Senior Santa Stakes over 1160 metres. I love what I saw in his 2 runs back. I was at Turffontein on the 25th of February when he made his return. He was fat. He looked like he needed the run. He ran well. His run in the Hawaii Stakes was out the top draw in my book behind Sandringham Summit. A fitter horse, probably a better horse over 1,400 metres. Certainly now, 3 Lucky Lad, banker on the day. I think he'll win, and I don't think you can talk me out of it.
Yeah, I like that. I think that Lucky Lad will take a power beating, and no disagreements here on my end. Lucky Lad, race number 8. That does look to be the banker on the card, and hopefully White Pearl rather, can come through and frank that form earlier on. Moving along to race number 9, the penultimate race on the day. And number 1, Zeus is the 28 to 10 favorite. 9 to 2 about Breeze Over, 6 to 1 Crimson King, 7 to 1 about Nabras, 7 to 1 Arumagam, prime example, 10 to 1 and better bar those. Now, Alistair, I'm not quite sure what to make of this race. Personally, I don't like the race, and maybe you can. Maybe you're different, you like the race, but Zeus at the top of the boards, 3,200 meters for the first time in his career with 62 kgs on the back. I'm happy to pass him by. I'm happy to look for horses to beat him here. I'm not quite sure who that horse may be, but I think there's horses that at a bit of a price could make their presence felt in a big way.
So that's my opinion about number one, Zeus, as well, Rahiel, but I've got him in. He wasn't once. Look at the betting moves in his last two starts. He drifted like he had the plague. But now he's got Gavin Lorena back on board, so that's why I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. I think he'll get the distance, but it's just a matter of whether he'll get the distance with 62 kilos and from a deep draw. I'm pretty sure I know what Out of Your League is there for. I think he's going to go and make the pace. But the issue with Out of Your League making the pace, he's obviously going to stretch them out and get Zeus from a bad draw, stretch them out, get Zeus from a bad draw to a relatively good position or whatever position's ideal. But the problem I have with them making pace, he's going to go a good pace, is he's going to set up Breeze Over and probably also a Rumagum. So those are two horses that I have a lot of time for. Breeze Over is my top choice. I liked him a lot last time with 50 kilos on his back. He's got 51 this time. He stays well. He's won from one over this course and distance. He, of course, won the Racehorse Owners Association Stakes on Betway Summer Cup Day, beat Positive Attitude. Well, I think this is slightly harder, but he's got exactly the same task ahead of him. So all he's got to do is retain that type of margin that he had over the opposition. Then number 8, Breeze Over, becomes my top selection. I think people forget what a good stay Rumagum was. Calvin Abib takes a ride. Tony Peter now trains the son of Duke of Marmalade. I think that he can show some spark here. Number 4, Rumagum, so I've got him in. And then number 2, Nebraska, although much like the horse that we were discussing earlier, Proto Manzano, Nebraska I think has had better days behind him, but with that said, we know that he stays while the blinkers come off. The old man I think might run a better race. He should run a better race than what he has in his last two. He ain't a good thing. I don't think he'll ever be a good thing again, number 2, Nebraska, but there might be another win or two somewhere in the tank, and if there is, then this is the type of race that fits the bill.
Number 2, Nebraska at around 7-1 in the market, but the two selections here for Alistair, numbers 4 and 8. It's 7-1 Rumagum and 9-2 about Breeze Over to get the job done in the Tab Gold Bowl listed event over 3,200 meters. Moving along to race number 10, the final race on the day, a Pinnacle Stakes over 1,400 meters, 7 minutes past 5 is the off time. Number 6, Celtic Rumors is the favorite with 52 kgs on the back. She's at 16-10. 3-1 about number 5, Zenovi. Atticus Finch is at 33-10. It's 8-1 and better bar those. Now, Atticus Finch, he was disappointing just 14 days ago in a race that looked to be a two-horse race. The name of the other horse escapes me right now, but he was beaten 5.5 lengths behind Bingwa, and he's obviously a horse that could bounce back to best. I think it was Melek that ran in that race as well, but could Celtic Rumors just be the second of those bankers on the day, Alistair?
I'll make it a 2.5 horse race. Celtic Rumors at the top of my list here, Rahiel, but look, I like her style of running. Pilasande and Pauli, I think, is a perfect jockey for Celtic Rumors. If the pace is on, she'll be dangerous. She'll be closing late. Her win over Good Queen Bess after a layoff giving weight away was absolutely excellent, and I thought her run as well in the Hawaii Stakes was also full of credits. I mean, that Sandringham Summit form is going to come under the spotlight quite a bit on Saturday afternoon. So 6 Celtic Rumors very much on my radar, but the other horse I think is a live runner is number 5, Zenovi. Could get a maximum of 6 points for winning a middle stakes last time. He actually ran to the rating that they gave him, so it's not like he's coming undercooked here. But since the wind-up after the 12th of November, you can see the horse that he's become. He needed his first run back. He ran like he needed his first run back, and then he blew Oz and Kerr away last time. So the wind-ups obviously had some sort of positive effect to number 5, Zenovi. Now I think we're going to see more of a racehorse. So put him into your play. And then the half of horse is number 2, Atticus Finch. You know what I think of Atticus Finch? I know that the Greyville 1900 is his main target this season. He's obviously holding off an entry of the Hollywoodbets Durbanville. I suppose if you win the 1900, then you've got to take your chances there, but that is his main target. So again, is he going to be fit and firing and ready to go this time like he wasn't last time? Then I suppose that will be the argument with number 2, Atticus Finch. Probably not ready yet, but he'll run a better race, number 2, Atticus Finch. I think the world of this horse. July winner, I don't know if I think that much of him, but he's definitely got a feature in him, and I think he'll run a lot better. He'll be in the money.
Number 2, Atticus Finch. Definitely lots of eyes will be on the son of Master of My Fate, looking to see if he can bounce back to winning ways. But 5 and 6, perhaps the 2 horses that could fight it out in race number 10, the final race on the day. We're going to move along to the suggested bet now, and Alistair will take us through his suggested bet for the 10 race program that lies ahead of us on Saturday out at Turffontein. It is a 500,000 Rand pick 6 carryover, likely pool of 3 million Rand, and there's no doubt what Alistair's suggested bet is. So Alistair, take us through that pick 6.
I'm also battling to comprehend why there's an estimated pool of 3 million Rand. That is mighty conservative. I know it's a Saturday, but it's a public holiday and it's the end of the month and it's the last big day in Joburg for a while. So I think we'll get past that, hopefully with a little bit of help from this pick 6, which starts at 25 to 2, 1, 3, 4 and 8 in the first leg. Bosom Buddy, Pinatubo, Simply Majestic and Montana Lights. 5 runners in the second leg, 1 Mr. Geriatrics, 2 Kiss Me Captain, 5 Time for Orchids, 6 White Pearl and 7 One Fell Swoop. Then in the third leg, the Tabby Gugu Stakes, got 1 None Other, 4 Perfect Witness, 8 My Soulmates and 9 Beating Wings. If there's rain, then number 2 Gilded Butterfly definitely goes into the play. Then the Tab Colorado King Stakes, 1, 2, 3, 4 Puerto Manzano, Aragosta, Future Pearl and Safe Passage by Banker 3, Lucky Lad, in or out there. And final leg of the pick 6, 1 Zeus, 2 Nebraska, and the 2 horses that I think will take all the beating, 4 Arumagum and 8 Breeze Over.
That is Alistair Cohen's pick 6, which gets underway with the running of race number 4, the Tab Pretty Polly Stakes Grade 3 over 1100 meters, and that is at 13:35. So make sure you get those pick 6 bets on. Alistair, thanks very much for your time. Have a wonderful weekend and all the best.
Thank you, Rahiel. Same to you, same to all the viewers. Enjoy Hollywoodbets Scottsville on Sunday. Looking forward to watching that from afar. That'll be good. It always is, that meeting, that curtain raiser into the big Grade 1 day, which is just under a month away. But yep, as for Saturday and Sunday and every other day, wish everybody well. Hope it's a good one.
All the best to Alistair Cohen. All the best to you as the viewer, and hopefully Saturday treats you well and you manage to catch that pick 6.